It varies, but generally it will entail staying centered and completing the backswing.
Balancing it all out.
Rotate a little bit more.
Be aggressive into the ball.
How hard I rotate.
Get back to the fundamentals.
A multiple winner on the DP World Tour, a Ryder Cup hero, and one of the game's preeminent ball strikers, Tommy Fleetwood. Even though Tommy Ladd is yet to win on the PGA Tour, he's one of the game's very best. The silver medal at the Paris Olympics, proof thereof. Fleetwood, a former world #1 amateur, a Race to Dubai champion, and a multiple European Tour winner. He's a golfer who will make you stop and watch when he hits the golf ball.
Now, Tommy Fleetwood, I like his swing. Yeah, he does a lot of things really well. A lot of things that people are envious of.
Fleetwood able to let one go, maximize it, knowing he had just enough real estate down there to cover it.
This is the perfect line up the right side if you can keep it in play.
When you're driving it the way that Fleetwood does, pick your points out there, because it's not just about hitting fairways on this golf course, it's hitting the right part of the fairway.
The Englishman has a number of idiosyncratic things that he does. Firstly, at address, I want you to pay attention to this. He does this often, and it's basically evidence of the fact that he creates whatever shot he needs to. He'll always hold down the grip of the club in an effort to get his hands closer to the club head, because, by definition, the closer the hands are to the club face, the easier the face is to control. Tommy also does that to allow him to show this move that he does with his trailing arm as well as anybody in the game. So at address there, he's plugged nicely into his feet, his arms are hanging out, he's holding down the grip, the eye line's at the golf ball, he is ready to go. Now as a reference and just an explanation. There's a line basically over the top of Fleetwood's head. Now power golfers, you will see them show a lot of stretch upwards going back, and then they will go downwards coming down in that sort of a situation. Watch what Fleetwood does. No stopping will take him all the way to the top. So as the club moves away, body, arms rotate together, eyes are on the golf ball. Now as he starts to get above his head, you see how the head has lowered and moved forward just a little bit? It's a beautiful situation here, how the hips have wound behind him. There's some pressure on that forward leg. Club face is beautifully stable over here and very much parallel with his lead arm. But again, watch the differential between the head where he was at address and where he is now. A lot of golfers in that situation, the real power guys, they'll be stretching more upward. Now Fleetwood, his game's built a little more on accuracy. 70% of the fairways hit last season. That was 8th on the PGA Tour. He's very accurate. He can move it out there, 298-ish on average or so, but he's not a real power guy. Now watch the head position as he transfers down. You'll see that head begin to lower even more. And down to here, you see there's that lowering move in the upper body. The eye line opens up a little bit here. You can see he's looking out at the golf ball. Now watch this trail elbow. And this to me is very much how he is accurate as what he is. See, the shaft is lined up in the forearm, the trail elbow is by his side. Now imagine someone throwing an uppercut. Watch that trail elbow as it now will begin to straighten. See how the eyes are low, the head's behind the golf ball, the elbow's still trailing, yet he's got this beautiful relationship here between the shaft of the club and that right forearm. Now picture the uppercut as the body continues to stay low. He throws that uppercut and then follows the momentum of the golf club all the way to the follow-through. It's a beautiful, reliable, efficient golf swing. He is tremendously accurate with driver in his hand, but he does what he needs to do. He's down the club, he creates low environments, he throws uppercuts. Tommy Fleetwood is a ball striker.
And that was right down the middle.
Yeah, this should fit his eye perfectly. A big high draw. This might be pushing those tree line. Oh yeah, just fine now. I mean, that ball almost hit the trees and it's going to be almost in the center of the fairway.
And Tommy can move it out there a little bit more than people might think or assume. Creates a lot of club head speed here, Mark.
He does, an average ball speed of 176, which is up there on the tour.
You need to hit this one squarely. And I believe he has. Should be really good here.
295 yards in carry.
Tommy Ladd, very accurate off the tee. Club head speed averaging right around 115 miles an hour, which is PGA Tour average-ish. He has to lever himself up because he's 5'11", weighs just under 170 pounds. So he has to create an environment to really create that upward launch, lower spin, to get the most out of the distance of his drives. And he does it beautifully by setting up powerfully at address. See how the feet are turned outward. That facilitates rotation. Notice the width of the stance here. Well wider than shoulder width. In fact, significantly wider here if you look at his feet in relation to the shoulders. See too how he's set up well behind the golf ball. The head's right here, and he is well behind that forward ball position. But the thing I love most from all of this is the line he sets up on the shaft. See how the line of the shaft almost points back at his center. His hands are behind the driver head. The driver head's behind the ball. So already there, Fleetwood's looking like he's trying to create that upswinging, ascending strike to really maximize launch angle. So we've talked about the height differential in the swing. There he is with the head. So as he moves away now, you'll see the body just shift ever so slightly to his right. The hips will begin to wind up. And as he moves, watch how the head gets progressively lower. See him plugging into that trail leg. So you can see the bending here. It's kind of old school how he's turning into that bent right knee. Look how far behind the golf ball the lead shoulder is. That's already in a situation where the ball has almost moved farther forward in the stance because he's so far behind it. We'll take him all the way to the top now, continues to rotate, and look at how low the head is in relation to where he began. But what I love is look at this loaded trail leg right there. So much load, the quad muscles engaged, that right glute muscle behind him. Look at the full turn of the shoulders. Big rotation behind the golf ball. I always love when a golfer reaches up into the corner of a doorway. If you're looking for power, looking for width, imagine you're in a doorway and reach up for the top corner every single time, like Tommy does. See how the shaft of the club rests across the top of the door. He is now styling, and he's about to be profiling on the way down. Watch how the lower body slides and begins to unwind, and watch how his upper body moves backward. Lower body moves forward, upper body moves backward. See that situation now? Tilted spine, lower body moving forward. How about this for some load across those wrists? Remember the word levers? He is doing everything in his power to lever himself up and play bigger than someone who's 5'11". From there, you'll continue to see the head move downward, backward, and now he's in a place where the forward leg is pushed up completely, yet the upper body's down behind the ball, creating that upswinging strike. All the while, though, look how the shaft is angled forward. So he's swinging upwards with the face looking downwards. That is perfect for lowering spin on the golf ball. Idiosyncratic here too. See a little gap between his forearms? That's no problem. Great ball strikers like Lee Westwood, for argument's sake, Jordan Spieth, they do that too. So he's down, he's low, he's behind the golf ball, the face is strengthened, and from there now, the leg will continue to push upward as he swings all the way through, and the momentum of that club swings him all the way up into the balanced follow-through. The Englishman, so reliable, gets the most out of his golf swing. And to me, if you're someone who tends to want to hit down on the driver, watch this golf swing on a loop. It will be so good for you. It'll help you to hit that tumbling ball that goes a little farther.
That's looking pretty good right there.
So Fleetwood will have a go. Always chokes down on that driver. That's what he does, just frozen rope, solid, just flushes.
That
nice sawed-off finish, little draw. It is just so much fun to watch Tommy Fleetwood hit his irons.
It is fun. Just he compresses that ball nicely, has a nice little draw on it. It's the amateur's dream, right?
If you're teaching a swing, that's a good one to teach.
Just a few yards closer. He was dynamite with a wedge yesterday.
Wow, dancing around the cup.
That almost hit the stick on the way past.
Talk about dead aim.
Here's Tommy Fleetwood looking down his line on the 13th at the Players' Championship. Back left hole location. As far as Tommy's concerned, a natural drawer of the golf ball. This is a heavenly look, even though there's water down the left-hand side. Now, we've talked about the height changes in the swing. I want to show you something that Tommy does as well as anybody, perhaps in the game, and I feel like it's part of the reason why he is so accurate. That line I've drawn is a line that's on the shaft of the golf club. So now watch this, how Tommy will always have a portion of the shaft or the club head or his trailing elbow interacting with that line, and that's how he gets this golf swing lined up so well. Because when he tends to go bad, he tends to swing inside out and to the right side a little too much. So now watch this. At address, beautiful. He swings away, watch how the club shaft right along that line, and he has nailed things. So right now, that club face is square, the hands are right on plane, he is right in position, arms in front of the body, hips winding up behind him. That club shaft and club face are in fantastic position. He continues to go to the top of the swing. Now arms will elevate, he turns around, there's that lowering of the body, hands are up over the shoulders, very neutral club face, gorgeous position. Now watch how the club shaft, in a way, doesn't get much longer, is interacting, looking somewhat parallel to the original shaft line. Now's the magic move. I want you to pay attention to this area right there. Watch how that right elbow in transition, as the body changes direction, will fall down the body right onto that original plane line. Right there. That is magic. As he does that, because of where he had the shaft at the top of the swing, you see a parallel look in the shaft right now? Now things are golden. He's almost made contact right now. All he has to do is continue to rotate the body. His knees are under him, the body's poised, he is in good shape. So now watch as the torso unwinds, look at that right forearm on that plane line. Look at that club face right over his hands. That is just absolutely gorgeous. Continue down from there, even though the eyes are tilted behind the golf ball, down to contact. Watch how the club shaft is almost exactly where he began. And look at this relationship here. Elbow, shaft, club face, very close to where he began at address. It makes me think of the great Sam Snead, who basically said to hit the ball well, you have to return the club face through the place it began. Do you think Tommy Fleetwood's doing that? That's almost right on the button. From there now, old Tommy would swing off to the right-hand side a little bit too much, but he's worked on mitigating that. So watch what happens. This original line, see right down that and stopping him midway through. You see again there's an interaction between club shaft and where it is on the through swing even. Old Tommy may have come out over the shoulder a little bit more here, but everything about him now is operating in this area with either the club shaft or his right elbow, or at least the club shaft angle relationship to where he began. This shot struck, it was right at the TV tower over there, and as he follows through, it's going to get launched and start to draw back ever so slightly. On that green, I can tell you, right over the number 13, there's a shelf right there. You land the ball there and it will turn down all the way to the flag. This one did, a left hole location. That is what Tommy Fleetwood loves.
Don't you like watching Tommy Fleetwood hit irons? Cup is cut way in the back there, and that's a good shot down that little low area. Excellent.
Put him in the fairway and he can do some work for you.
I was about to say, really good with short irons. That was right at it.
Well, Tommy Fleetwood is 5 under for the day. Gotta be careful here.
Oh, yeah, you do. He made a birdie here yesterday, but from a different set of tees. This is fantastic from Fleetwood.
Fleetwood one up on Dylan Fratelli. Back left hole location, you're kidding. into the slope, creeping down the hill. No way! Fleetwood, that's the coolest hole-in-one you'll ever see. Fleetwood's like, yeah, I made it. Well, that's where I was aiming. That's what I do.
I'm Tommy Fleetwood.